So that's out of the question.
I don't believe in a God, and even then I would say that's still kind of a subjective premise because it relies on everyone else agreeing that a God exists. So I don't think there's an objective way to say that something's right or wrong. However, I say immoral because it conveys a message. People emotionally look at abusing a dog or killing a cat, and they go, "That is immoral."
But
right? But so
sorry.
you take this to its not necessarily end conclusion, but you ask why, and you keep regressing, and you go, "Okay, why is it wrong to hurt a dog? Why do we say it's supposedly immoral, even though immoral maybe doesn't exist because it's subjective?" You go, "Well, it has the capacity to feel pain. It's a social creature; it can get upset. It suffers mentally and physically, and that's why it's wrong to inflict pain upon a dog."
Okay.
And then, from that point onwards, if it's immoral to do that to the cat, it logically makes sense that it follows for other animals.
That is true. But now, are you taking this particular subject matter totally divorced from the realities of life?
In what way?
Okay. As an example, if our country, the United Kingdom, you are a UK citizen, if our country was under attack, would we be obliged to kill the enemy?
And this is it's a very hard moral debate that I was also having earlier. I think it depends on your world philosophy, and
the world philosophy is going to be totally subjective.
Yeah, of course.
But now we are talking about an objective assessment of a potential threat.
Yeah, yes.
I am asking, would it be legitimate to destroy the enemy?
Yeah.
Killing.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
It's killing with the premise that it's either kill or be killed. In the same way as killing for self-defense is seen as necessary, it's seen as moral, because if you don't kill, you die. One death either way. And in the same way as, we didn't kill Hitler, did we? He killed himself. But we kill dictators and we kill people, or we want to at the very least, in order to prevent death. That's the premise. I wouldn't say that killing is okay. I'd say killing is okay with the premise, with the small print that you're doing it to prevent deaths.
Absolutely. But Billy, you see, when we are talking about countering the enemy, it's on an objective basis.
What do you mean?
They are threatening the country.
Yeah.
And we want to put a stop to it.
Yeah.
Yeah? It's not me thinking that is what the case is. It really is the case.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, as I just said, unless we know absolutely everything there is to know about the interconnectedness of life, then only are we going to be able to make or formulate a reasonable judgment as to whether it is okay to eat animals or not. A few days ago, I'm trying to remember the citation, okay? There was a report about vegetarian women likely to break their hips more so if they don't eat animals.
Interesting.
Are you familiar with that report?
No, but
right. Okay. Have you got a card, please?
So
I'll just.
The thing that I would say is certainly things like that are around. In the same
There's just an email there, Billy. Yeah. So if you can drop me an email, I can send you the link. Yeah, you can have a look.
I'd say in a similar way, people that eat meat are more likely to get heart disease and cancer. There are.
Excellent. But now here is the point. You have hit on it. Research is still being undertaken.
Yeah.
Constantly being undertaken. Okay. We have now reports coming through. First it causes cancer, it causes this, that and the other. Now reports are coming through research that actually, if you are a vegetarian, the potential of not eating meat are not good. Now, there are a few reports which I will, hopefully if you email me, I will send them to you. And it seems to be a shifting pattern now. Now the reports are suggesting that animal intake must be a part of the human diet. Are you familiar with all this research?
Yeah, I've heard it before.
Are you familiar with the research, Billy?
Yes, I
you are. So what do you say about it?
I would say I wouldn't say it's shifting that way. I'd say there is more research.
Sorry.
There is more and more research behind these things, and there's scientific debate around it. What I would say is that I would say there's more research suggesting year on year that a vegan diet is healthier. It's healthier for the bloodstream. It's healthier for the heart. Healthier for the lungs. Less likely to get cancer. But and the instances where it's not healthy, I would say through lack of balanced diet. In the same way as if I were a meat eater and said, "Oh, I'm not getting enough protein," because I'm not eating enough meat. So I would say that it's not necessarily an important part of the discussion, because I'd say you're right. We don't know. What we do know is we can at this stage. What we do know is that both can be relatively healthy, and we don't know if 10 years it could say that that meat shrinks your brain by 10%, or it could say that plants like give you...
Or it increases the capacity
Yeah,
of the brain.
so,
It can be either.
And specifically on this plot, we don't know yet. What we do know for a fact is that animals feel pain. What we do know for a fact is that animals suffer. And what we do know for a fact is that if we look at someone abusing a dog, even if they were to eat it, even if they were to slash a cat's throat and eat it, it doesn't make it right. Even if it fulfills a supposedly necessary function, the action of doing it is unnecessary because we can get these foods, the 9 essential amino acids, you can get protein, you can get every kind of nutrient and mineral from other things. Now, there may be maybe potentially some things revealed in the future that go against veganism, in the same way as there may be things supporting it. But at this stage, what we do know is we can get everything that we get from a meat diet through a vegetarian diet, and we know that the meat diet causes pain and suffering.
Right, excellent. But you see, the central theme of this potential discussion is to do with the yardstick. This is something I'm always telling people to consider. Yeah? We just agreed right now that there is a potential of future research either showing it is negative to be eating animals, or it may be positive to eat animals, or it may be a definite part of a balanced diet. We agree, don't we? The problem we are having right now is that we don't have an objective standard. And so, we don't know whether it is or it isn't. Now, here is the problem that unfortunately a lot of people are missing. For you to make a comprehensive decision on a subject matter, you must try your best to obtain as much information as is possible, even from avenues which you don't consider yourself as true or factual. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I would say it's contextual. So
no, it's contextual because if I were to take your line of reasoning to its conclusion, okay, if you were in a part of the world where the only sustenance they have are the animals, what do you want them to do?
Eat the animals.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
All right.
So
excellent.
So
no,
for them it's
that's
necessary.
the point, though. Again, we are right back to the start. That the problem seems to be that the words that we are using and defining are subjective for this particular matter.
I wouldn't say so. I would say there is a theoretical for the idea of unnecessary to change. I wouldn't say that means it's subjective. We know that now, the science that we have now, we know that it is not necessary in terms of our health to eat meat.
Sorry, say that again?
So it's not in terms of our health, it is not at this moment in time, in terms of the science that we have now, and the research that we have now, we know it's not necessary to eat meat. Necessary meaning that otherwise we would suffer physical...
Right, 1 second, Billy. I just asked you a few minutes ago, are you familiar with the current research in relation to whether it's beneficial or not? You said you are not.
Yes.
And that is why I gave you the card so I can send you the information. Now, sorry, the question, and I did talk about a shift taking place. The point here is, and you are right, the word unnecessary, we are back to that issue. The studies that are being undertaken seem to be giving us a picture first for, and then suddenly a picture against, okay? Now, what I am saying is that if we use the word unnecessary or the word immoral, we have to then logically and reasonably formulate a conclusion about the objectivity of what we are discussing.
I don't think because I don't think morals are objective. I don't think moral discussion has to be on.
No, they can be objective, but you have discounted a particular science.
So interestingly, you say that there is now it's changing to kind of support meat. I don't think that's the case at all.
That's fine.
I think there are more and more studies every single week showing the benefits of a plant-based diet and the severe negatives of a meat-eating diet.
Well, you know what we will do, Billy?
And in terms of cholesterol, in terms of fat.
Right. Are you usually here?
Yeah.
Right. We usually come about 3 or 4 weeks. Yeah.
Okay.
And if you can send me an email, I think it is better that you read the reports first.
Well, interestingly,
because
regardless of how many things I hear on your side, what I would say is
Billy, this is research being undertaken by universities. Now, you just said that you would rather rely on the research, the scientific research. I am saying, well, the scientific research seems to be showing that what was a particular belief about the vegan diet, now they are saying, just like I said about 3 days ago, where the report actually said that the women are likely to break their hips more so if they are on a vegan diet. So the question one has to ask,
But, go on.
yeah, the question one has to ask is, look, there seems to be a flip and a flop in relation to the information that is available.
Yeah,
So, don't you think it should make sense logically and reasonably that we must first adopt an objective yardstick so as to determine definitively whether this particular diet or that particular diet is the appropriate one?
No, because
don't you agree?
No, because I think waiting
You don't.
until we get no, because I think waiting until we get all the information.
But the scientific standards you are using,
I know,
sorry,
I know.
the scientific standards you are using are based on objectivity, are they not?
No.
They are not.
No, they're not.
So the scientific research.
No, the research in terms of whether it's necessary is in terms of